for the stars, for the heavens I'm aiming. Out here gaming, while y'all out here baller shaming. Never changing, let it do what it do. Well, if it wasn't for Los Angeles County Jail, we may have never witnessed hip-hop's arguably biggest group ever. Also hip-hop's best producer, who has won 6 Grammys as an artist and a producer. Who and what are we talking about here at GRIND Gazette? Well, to enlighten you, the future of rap was shifted one night when a young, pun intended, struggling producer was thrown in jail after his Mazda RX-7 was impounded for compounding excessive car fines. Yes, millennials and Generation Zers, back in the days in some states, you got impounded with your car. This producer was in the group called the World Class Wrecking Crew. And he was being annoyed at this time by a teen Compton drug dealer named Eric. Eric was on him and nagging him to make beats for his upstart record company. Now in this pinch, this up-and-coming megastar needed Eric's help getting bailed out of jail and promised to make him some music. Shortly later, NWA was formed. Eazy-E and the notorious DRE, BKA, Dr. Dre was born. Not necessarily born, but noticed. Dr. Dre would bring us 3 albums and an EP as a member of NWA and produce many albums for Eazy-E's label, Ruthless Records. Dre would later leave Eazy and Ruthless Records after disputes over money and created his own label, Death Row Records, with feared ex-bodyguard turned mogul Suge Knight. Dr. Dre changed the landscape of music and stamped gangsta rap, putting out his album The Chronic. Followed it up with Chronic 2001 and launching the careers of Snoop Dogg and many others. And you know we can't forget Tupac Shakur. He blew up to heights people didn't think a rapper could achieve once he collabed with Dr. Dre. Tupac, who was later killed in the unsolved drive-by shooting in Las Vegas in 1996, picture is now in thousands of homes next to portraits of Jesus. However, all was not smooth at Dr. Dre's label Death Row. It was rumored that CEO Suge Knight was running it with an iron fist, and everyone from artists to A&Rs were receiving not only beats, but physical beat downs. At this time, going to work was like going to a war zone for Dr. Dre. Gang members he did not know who grew up with the co-owner Suge would interrupt studio sessions and tell Dr. Dre, "Make me a beat, man. I want some music. I want to be a rapper now too." Not to mention, while defending one of his artists, a female R&B artist, Jewel, R.I.P., Dre had knocked the guy out cold for disrespecting her. But when the guy awakened, he shot Dr. Dre in both of his legs. On top of all this, he was having money problems with the label again. You ask, how can it be money problems with the label when you're the owner? Well, when your co-owner, Marion Suge Knight, is a gangbanger, and on paper a member of the dangerous Mob Piru gang from Compton, it is easy to understand why. Dr. Dre would leave the label he created and co-founded with Knight with nothing more than his shirt on his back. No catalog, no money. Just a peace of mind, Dr. Dre would later say. Suge Knight is currently locked up, serving a 28-year sentence for murder. Dr. Dre would now form another label, Aftermath Records, and discover and bring the world the talented rapper Marshall Mathers, better known as Eminem. Little known fact is Dr. Dre had told Eminem during a studio session to yell some of his verses, which you can tell and see on the multi-platinum song The Way I Am. When he screamed it and yelled it came out good. And this would later become one of Eminem's signature styles. Dr. Dre would now have his peace of mind and money while running his label and producing for many stars. One day, Dr. Dre was in his $1 million Malibu pad with his business partner, Jimmy Iovine, the owner of Interscope Records. Dre turned to Iovine and said, "My business people want me to put some sneakers out." Iovine would say, "Nobody cares what kind of shoes you wear. They would care what speakers you use." So they brainstormed on putting out some speakers. Then they scrapped it and turned it into headphones. Then they created Beats by Dre that were later sold to Apple for $3 billion. Dr. Dre became a billionaire, and with this one deal, he made more than he did in his over 30-year musical career 3 times fold. Dr. Dre these days can be found working out in this gym. Mr. Young is now into fitness and health after suffering a brain aneurysm in January of 2021. He's still producing and setting on many songs and projects. He teased us for over 20 years to follow up his Chronic series with Detox until he finally told us he wasn't releasing it. Well, if you are hoping to catch Dr. Dre at your local 24-hour fitness for a selfie, think again. He's in his own gym in his mega mansion he bought from TB12. Yes, Tom Brady. He bought this from him in 2014 for a whopping $40 million. Yeah, so us here at GRIND Gazette are thirsting for another solo Dr. Dre musical project, but we think the good doctor feels like he been there, done that. But we still will tilt our top hat to Dr. Dre for having such a packed portfolio. Please continue to like and subscribe to GRIND Gazette, where we always pocket watching. If you don't grind, you don't shine.